So Senator Ted Cruz and AOC got into a pretty big debate on Twitter, and it was basically over the idea of expelling Ted Cruz from the Senate because Ted Cruz is one of the 11 senators that supported challenging and objecting to the electoral vote results, regardless of the fact that it was very clear that Joe Biden had won and there was no evidence of any fraud. All of the lawsuits were lost, etc., etc. And there were actually videos of Ted Cruz. There's a video of Ted Cruz where he's basically saying, we won't go into the night quietly. We're going to stand arm to arm, shoulder to shoulder, fighting for liberty, basically inciting the violence that happened yesterday. So Ted Cruz sent out a tweet. It says, "The attack at the Capitol was a despicable act of terrorism and a shocking assault on our democratic system. We must come together and put this anger and division behind us. We must, and I am confident we will, have a peaceful and orderly transition of power. My full statement." So he provides a full statement. But what people are calling him out for with this statement is basically, he's basically trying to weasel out and act as if, oh, you weren't the guy who was essentially inciting all of this. You weren't a huge enabler. You weren't a huge enabler of all of this, which he was. He was a massive enabler of all of this. He was a big reason why all of this happened. So now he's trying to say, oh, I'm confident we'll have a peaceful and orderly transition of power, trying to condemn the event. It's like an arsonist, basically condemning the fire. Like, you caused this. You did this. This is on you. This is your fault. Okay? And so AOC responded saying, "Senator Cruz, you must accept responsibility for how your craven, self-serving actions contributed to the deaths of 4 people yesterday and how you fundraised off this riot. Both you and Senator Hawley must resign. If you do not, the Senate should move for your expulsion." So there is the third section of the 14th Amendment says that nobody who has taken part in a rebellion or insurrection against the United States can hold public office or be like a representative or a senator or vice president or president. And it also says that anybody who's aided or abetted somebody who, was part of an insurrection cannot hold those offices. So it actually does say that in the 14th Amendment of the United States. But Ted Cruz responded. He said, "AOC, you are a liar. Leading a debate in the Senate on ensuring election integrity is doing our jobs, and it's in no way responsible for the despicable terrorists who attacked the Capitol yesterday. And sorry, I ain't going anywhere when you and your socialist buddies try to massively raise taxes, when you try to pass the Green New Deal and destroy millions of jobs, when you push for amnesty, when you try to pack the Supreme Court with activists to undermine our constitutional rights. I will fight that every step and stand with the people." So what you can see is he's kind of pivoting away from that to basically virtue signal to conservatives. Like, I support all this stuff. I need your support. Come support me. That's what he's doing. He's virtue signaling there by not even staying on topic. So he's obviously wrong. His actions were absolutely responsible for this. When Donald Trump was basically out there saying that, this election was a steal, it was stolen, do you know how serious of a crime that is, like a stolen election in the United States for the presidency and supposedly would affect the rest of the elections, right? That is the biggest crime possible, right? It's the biggest crime possible. So when you start saying stuff like that, crazy people are really going to go insane and they're going to make actions like this. And you have to be responsible for that because you knew this kind of thing was going to happen and you took part in it. And the idea of leading a debate in the Senate on ensuring election integrity. The election integrity was ensured. This was all determined in court, by the way. Every single way of the court destroyed and demolished every single one of Donald Trump's claims. So it was already adjudicated. It was already decided. It was over. So there was nothing really to debate. This is just an embarrassing cop-out. And I don't know why Ted Cruz is Trump's bitch. He made fun of his wife and said his dad killed JFK. I don't know why he's sort of under his shoe, if you will. Now, AOC responded saying, "Oh, you're accusing me of lying? Isn't this you? Your campaign sent out this fundraising message as people were sieging the Capitol. You claim to be, quote, leading the fight to reject electors. Clashes started around 1:20 p.m. This message was sent after the Capitol was breached." The text says, "Ted Cruz here. I'm leading the fight to reject electors from key states unless there's an emergency audit of the election results. Will you stand with me?" And Ted Cruz, I believe, had responded to this basically saying that, it was just an automated message and all this stuff. It really doesn't matter when the message was sent. The connection is very, very clear and very, very obvious. He was basically trying to fight these, and you can see that video footage of him basically inciting people by using all his very hopped up language, his very coked up language about basically a steal of the election. There's a very, very clear correlation between the two things. When you say something like the election was stolen from Donald Trump, you know what's going to happen. Okay, people are going to go insane because if that claim was true, which is false, right? There's no evidence of it. It's already adjudicated in court. That's a really hefty claim if it were something that was true, right? And so you basically incited this insurrection and rebellion against the U.S. that basically almost held the entirety of Congress hostage, and you should be responsible for that. And under the third section of the 14th Amendment, yeah, you should be sort of disbarred from Congress. I don't know if it's going to go through or not. I really hope it does, because it would be, there's a lot of Trumpers who are basically not feeling the punishments of their actions, right? We see the lawyers that have been filing these frivolous lawsuits, which go against ethics violations. They have yet to be sanctioned and punished. And so that enables them to continue to file more lawsuits, right? So there needs to be punishments for these kinds of actions. Otherwise, it's just doomed to repeat itself. It's just going to happen again. And Ted Cruz is one of the slimiest shits, and apparently he got caught in this corruption scandal recently as well. He's just the nastiest of the nastiest, and he refuses to take any responsibility. The idea that he had nothing to do with this is absolutely hilarious. He was the biggest named senator challenging the electoral results. Okay, it's absolutely insane, totally crazy. Hopefully he is expelled from Congress.